So we really appreciate all that they do. Our next speaker is Shanon Phillips with the Oklahoma Conservation Commission.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to talk to you a little bit about what's going on at the Conservation Commission. I've been with the Conservation Commission in the state of Oklahoma for about coming up on 24 years in the water quality arena. The Conservation Commission was an agency that was really formed to support conservation districts. And how many people know what conservation districts are? Okay, so a fair number. Those are the entities of local government that were formed to really address natural resource concerns like the Dust Bowl. And so we work in partnership with local districts and other partners in a voluntary way to conserve, protect, and restore natural resources. And we have a number of programs that range from abandoned coal mine reclamation to support for conservation districts, and then my program, which is the Water Quality and Wetlands Program. And as our water quality program, we are the state's lead for the EPA Clean Water Act Section 319 non-point source program. So we are focused on protecting and assessing the status of the state's waters relative to non-point source pollution, or pollution that is a result of runoff from the land surfaces as opposed to pollution that comes out of the end of a pipe. And in doing so, it's critical for us to figure out where we have non-point source efforts or issues, what's causing those, and then also where we have programs that can effectively address those. And so a big part of our program is that we have a very comprehensive small stream monitoring program. I think we heard a little bit at lunch about intermittent streams, and it would be wonderful if we could include that in our monitoring program, but we focus primarily on small perennial streams, about third to fifth order streams all across the state. We monitor about 250 of those on a 5-year rotating basis, and monitor those for physical, chemical, biological, and habitat variables for 2 out of every 5 years. We've been doing that. We have data for 15 to 20 years for most of those sites, some going up to 30 years. We're monitoring upstream of permitted discharges, major confluences of other streams, or anything else that might, or reservoirs, anything else that might really help us being able to really relate what we're seeing in the water quality back to what's going on the land surface. We also focus on pollutants for which the state has numerical criteria predominantly, and which are strong non-point source problems across the nation. We do include nutrients in that, but so we're not focusing on a lot of the more expensive parameters to assess, like pesticides, toxics, metals, and instead we use our biological monitoring to help us determine where those might be a challenge. Our funding comes predominantly from EPA 319. We have a tremendous amount of data that we are more than happy to share with folks. Like I said, at least 20 years worth of data. And we're always willing to work with students to share that information. We also maintain a running list of project ideas that would be helpful to us and to the state in general in terms of utilizing this data and the data that's collected by our partnering state agencies. So we're working, like I said, in an entirely non-regulatory way, voluntary programs to encourage people to change the way they live their lives and manage their land. So education is a critically important component of our program. And we have both a water quality education program and a soil health education program, where we're helping train citizen scientists on collecting data and educating their friends and neighbors. Our Blue Thumb program is our water quality education program that's been around for more than a quarter century, where we have an army of citizen volunteers who monitor between 75 and 100 additional streams that really helps supplement the information that our professional staff is able to collect. And again, help us pinpoint places where we need to be focusing efforts on pollution control and places where our systems are in relatively good shape. Also, though, those citizens are like I said, educating their friends and neighbors on what needs to be done. Okay, I'm running out of time. So, the last thing that's a big part of our program is that we work with landowners across the state to implement conservation practices. And again, we're trying to show and demonstrate the things that can address non-point source pollution. We work with a number of private landowners who are very interested in working with others to collect data on the impacts of the land management changes that they're making. So if you want to work with innovative people, we can put you in touch with those folks. And now I'm out of time.